Hello, welcome back to Making Better Bites. It's your host, Adrienne, here with you, and I'm so excited to be back this week again for another episode. Again, my apologies for being a little bit delayed. Usually I try to get these up first thing in the morning, but thank you for your patience on it not being up till this afternoon because, yeah, I just kind of had a crazy busy weekend, and some things I wasn't expecting came up yesterday with our kitchen remodel, so I wasn't able to record like I had anticipated, but I appreciate your patience. And here we are now getting to this episode. And I'm going to get it out as quick as I can today. But yeah, with this weekend, I had some exciting things going on in our family. Well, mostly my husband's family. My brother-in-law graduated from college this weekend, which is very exciting. And I've actually known him since I first met him when he was in second grade. And now he's graduated college, which is so crazy because I don't know, he was just like a little kid when I first met him, and now he's like a grown adult and getting a job and moving away. So I'm really proud of him. And then my sister-in-law's birthday was also was yesterday, but we celebrated at my house this weekend. We did a little cookout, which was so fun because I'm still not able to use my kitchen quite yet with the remodel, but hopefully by the end of this week, like this weekend, I'm hoping we'll be able to use our kitchen again, which is really exciting because I can get back to my regular eating and my regular content creation and all of that. I feel like I've really been slacking on sharing meals and like food and what's going on with that, like inspiration, but it's also because I've been very uninspired and honestly, to be honest with you, hardly cooking anything. I cook as minimal as possible or just do like quick thrown together stuff. And it's certainly not like the most nutritious. Or I go over to my parents or somewhere else for a meal so that I don't have to worry about it because yeah, I'm just not enjoying our current setup very much. But like I said, hopefully after this week, I won't have to worry about that anymore. And I am really grateful and know how incredibly blessed we are to be able to be remodeling our kitchen. So I don't want to sound like I'm just complaining because it's not something that everybody gets to do. So I'm grateful for that as well. But yeah, so I can start sharing normal things and I will have more ideas of what I can share in content as well to be putting out there because I will be able to be back in my kitchen again. I know that I spend like a lot of time in there. Like I was aware of that already, but like not having a kitchen, I didn't realize till now like truly how much time I'm always in my kitchen for. So, I've been missing it. I feel like a piece of me is missing and I need to get back to it. But anyways, yeah, I'm just really happy for that to be over very soon. Excuse me. And I think that's kind of all of the catching up with my personal life. The only other big thing I've had going on is business related, which you might have already heard. I came out with a program that is Kickstarting Your Menstrual Cycle Wellness, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today as well. And I really focused on mostly using nutrition and then movement and rest in order to support your body and your hormones better to heal and recover and find balance. So it does come in either an ebook or paperback format, whether you want a physical copy sent to you or a digital download. That is up to you. Both are listed on my Shopify page. But yeah, that's the program. And I kind of wanted to talk about some of the details today from that program. So I guess without further ado, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer and we'll hop right into it. Nothing that I share is intended to be medical advice. Always work with your trusted healthcare professionals and providers when you are making changes for your health. And they know your health history and what's going on with you best. And this is just general information to share. So with kickstarting your menstrual cycle wellness, I get a lot of questions about what people should do to get started or kind of like where to begin with balancing out their hormones and making changes in their lives. And I know like where I began personally, but when I first began, my knowledge was a lot more limited, and it's not necessarily like the best place or the most useful place for everybody to start. So I kind of wanted to take all of my knowledge, which is much, much, much more extensive at this point now, and kind of compile that together. And then also going off of my experience and how I developed my like habits and routine changes in my life and what that experience was like. And then also from the like medical side of like everything that's going on, trying to piece it all together. So I think I came up with a pretty good flow. And the whole idea is that you are building a different habit each cycle, each phase of your cycle. And this is not a habit that is phase exclusive, but we're working with your body and what's going on in each given phase in order to have a better outcome and more likely to stick with that habit and to continue it on moving forward was my idea. So the cycle wellness takes you through three full cycles. So beginning from one period to the end of that cycle, we take you through 3 times. So by the end of it, that would be 3. I didn't include ovulation as its own thing because that's only like a day. So you get 3 new habits minimum. I did a few bonus habits here and there as well. And then you get that 3 times. So by the end, you will have started at least 9 new habits that you can incorporate, that you will be incorporating into your life. And why did I decide going with 3 cycles? How did I come up with that number? So it takes roughly 3 cycles, sometimes longer, maybe 5 or 6, but like for the majority of your egg growth from like follicle and then growing into an egg that potentially will be ovulated, it takes about 3 cycles or 3 months time. So that's kind of how I decided on going with the 3, because that's kind of the time period of your egg development. And a lot of times with nutrition changes in your life, it does take 3 months to begin to notice a change. So the things that you start at the beginning of the program are going to be a little bit bigger, and they might help you notice a change faster. But also by the end of 3 months of doing them, you will absolutely notice a difference from incorporating them into your life, was kind of the idea. So yeah, that's kind of how I came up with the number 3, just because it takes a good amount of time. And then I also didn't want to bombard, of course, or overwhelm with like too many habits. It's just supposed to be like a little program that gets you through and helps you to start feeling better, because we're just trying to kickstart you off. Like, this is a great place to begin. These are really great habits that could benefit a large population of people, because beyond those 3 months, maybe some of your habit changes and things you need to do might need to get more specific for what you personally have going on, because not everybody with cycle problems has endometriosis, or not everybody with cycle problems has polyps or cysts and like those kind of things going on simultaneously. So there's not always a need for the same kind of approach for each individual person. They might need a little bit more specialized or like pinpointed changes beyond what this initial kickstarting off goes. But for these initial 3 cycles and those 9 core habits that I talked about that you will be incorporating, they will pretty much benefit anyone, because we're looking at reducing inflammation, increasing our sleep habits and like how much rest we're getting, increasing our movement, like all of these really great things. And then focusing also on a few really key nutrients like magnesium and healthy fats, leafy greens, those kind of things. So it walks you through working with your cycle in order to kind of decide which habit you're going to start. And then that way you get at least like 5 to 10 days, maybe even up to 2 weeks for each habit, so that you're not overwhelming or feeling overwhelmed, because I really wanted people to have these things be something that would really stick with them and last like a lifetime. So that's why you want to take it slow. And these are things, this is how you take things slow. Like, you don't want to just jump in. You don't want to be doing like a full-on diet. So it's like a step-by-step program that kind of works with your body, and you build upon it. And then My next question that I feel like people might have a lot of is, what if you don't know the phase of your cycle that you are in? So for this, I gave a lot of information in the program about like kind of identifiers for knowing which phase of your cycle you're in. Of course, the menstrual or menstruation is easy because like you're bleeding. That's your most obvious one. And then the other two being your follicular and your luteal phases. I gave some signs and like ways you would be able to identify that if you currently are completely in the dark. But also, you have a lot of options there for kind of like what approach you want to take to doing that, because you could just go based off of like general counting if you're struggling to identify your phase. So like that your follicular phase might be roughly like 10 days, and then that your luteal phase is like roughly 14 days, and then that's how long of time you're giving yourself until your next period. Breaking it down by like your total cycle length. You could do that if you wanted to, and it's not gonna be hurt you in any kind of way to like go based off of that. But also you could take this as an opportunity to seek out someone who does teach a fertility awareness method, and then you could be simultaneously start learning about the phases of your cycle. And another thing you could do, I do have a discount code with the Temp Drop product. That's linked in my bio, like on my Instagram and my TikTok. But you could start tracking your temperatures as well, if you wanted to have more details about the phase of your cycle you're in. I also sell a cycle journal that I developed, and there actually is a bundle. If you combine the journal and the program, you get 20% off the journal automatically at checkout. So you could use the journal to track your cycle and to start monitoring your different phases of your cycles and kind of symptoms and things that you're experiencing during each phase. It would also be a good opportunity to track the habits that you're doing, because my cycle journal includes a habit tracker. But there's a lot of different options for you on what you want to do. I know there's different apps out there as well that can help you kind of identify the phase of your cycle you're in. So it's okay if you don't know what phase you're in. And hopefully, even through doing the program, you might start to be able to identify the different phases you're in based off of what you're experiencing, how you're feeling, and just getting further information about your body and your health and how the menstrual cycle functions. So if you don't currently know how to track your phases, don't worry, but it is something you could learn. Another question that I just thought of that I feel like might come up, like what if I'm on like a hormonal birth control and I know I don't have normal phases to my cycle? Again, perfectly fine if you want to start these habits. There's nothing in there that's not going to be beneficial for your health or not work for you. But again, you probably want to, like during the menstruation phase, maybe give yourself just 1 week starting from like when your birth control starts over. And then you could divide your other 3 weeks of your birth control, just like split them in half, giving yourself like a week and a half for each of the other 2 phases to build your cycle. Because the way birth control works, you're not exactly going through the cycle phases in the same way that someone's body naturally would go through. So while you might not be experiencing it exactly the same, there's still really great healthy habits that you can incorporate into your life, and you would still notice a difference in your health and how you're feeling. So if you don't experience the phases, it's okay. It would still be beneficial for you. And then finally, how did I decide what it was that I was going to include? Because like I said, a lot of people are really different on how they are feeling. And there's a lot of different things that could be going on for people and what's causing their symptoms and like abnormal menstrual cycles. And I totally understand that. I had several things myself going on with my thyroid and my menstrual cycle health that I've been working on over the last couple of years. And so I know that not everything is one size fits all, but there are a lot of things that overlap in menstrual cycle health and in women's health in general that there are specific nutrients and habits and things that are going to help no matter what. So that's kind of how I decided what was going to happen. Of course, like I said, I want to work with the different phases of your cycle and help you to start to get to know the different phases of your cycle if you don't know them already. So the habits are supportive of whatever phase you're in, but they're really habits that you can do for a lifetime that are going to support your body no matter what phase you're in, because those nutrients are beneficial across the board. So that's kind of how I decided where to start with it and what I felt would start making a difference in your life, no matter what it was that you had going on. So I kind of picked those top core things while also taking into account, like, oh, this person is going to be on their period. This is not a great time to be starting like preparing a bunch of food at home or trying to do anything that's going to require a lot of energy, especially right off the bat, because they're more likely to be fatigued and for their energy to be low. So it's not necessarily a good time to start that kind of a habit. But it could be a good time to start a more restful habit that, involves the mind or meditation or something like that. But cooking and having all at home and doing things that have more energy are still going to benefit you for a lifetime in every phase of your cycle. It just might not be the best time to start that type of habit when you're feeling fatigued and kind of down. So that was kind of my thought process, is like, how can I work with this phase to really support their body where they are in this moment, but also make it be something that they could continue doing for a lifetime that would feel good and be beneficial for them. Um, and then that's kind of how that's exactly how I went with it, and like kind of through my own experience. And then, like I said, a lot of the knowledge that I've gained over the last couple of years, because it is much deeper than it was when I first started and was just doing this like for myself and wanting to feel better personally. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, all the general questions that people would ask, and hopefully that kind of helps you to understand how the flow of the cycle goes better. Um, and yeah, I think that's kind of all I had in my notes. I think this is a really great opportunity for people to, like I said, not only begin improving their health and their wellness, um, and supporting their menstrual cycle better with different habits and nutrients and all of those kind of things, but also to begin learning your cycle on a deeper level and understanding your body on a more personal level, and kind of what each of those phases means to you and how you experience each of them. And in the future, I plan to have a lot more things come out that are a lot more detailed to keep you moving forward on this journey and to keep supporting you as a practitioner, as a hormone dietitian, as someone who wants to see each and every person succeed who has a desire to improve their hormones and their menstrual cycle health. But for now, it's just a little bit scaled back, a little bit more scaled back, much more beginner friendly, and just a really good, easy place to start. So I'm going to have all of the things I mentioned linked below if this is something that interests you, or if you feel like there's someone you know who would benefit from this program or this information. Please, I am so honored if you share that with them. That means the world to me, that you trust me and think of me in order to help support someone else in your life, but also just to support yourself and to be there for you. I am also like just so honored and so happy that you take time to listen to what I have to say. So yeah, this will benefit anyone in any phase of understanding, but especially if they're struggling with problems with their period, with their menstrual cycle length, with cramps, fatigue, PMS symptoms, all these sort of things. And they're just trying to get a handle on their menstrual cycle and what's going on, and just start developing some better habits. So I'll link all of it below. Share it if you can, or if you know someone who would also benefit. And come find me on my other socials. Like I said, I will be getting back to my regular, more consistent content soon, and I'm really excited. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that this has helped you to make better bites.